And I'd like to call the meeting to order. Would everyone please join me in saying the pledge to our flag? Kim is going to help us with that. Thank you, Kim. I pledge allegiance
Allegiance to the flag
United
of the
States of
of
America,
America,
and to the republic
for which it
stands,
stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty and
liberty
justice for all.
for all.
Thank you, Kim. Okay, so due to the virtual meeting, there'll be no live public participation. Please feel free to email any thoughts or comments to the superintendent at charlene.dean@redjacket.org. The board will receive all thoughts and comments submitted. First up is our presentation from Tim Burns with our 2021-2022 budget presentation.
Is it on the right screen? Can you see the presentation?
Yep.
Yes.
I gotta get used to dual monitor again. Okay, it's December. We're gonna start the 21-22 first budget presentation of the year, as we'll talk about throughout it. We have a lot of unknown questions for the 2021 school year that we're still waiting for answers on from the governor. Budget, he came out today and said in his press conference that just like everybody, he's waiting on the stimulus package to see where the New York State budget will stand before they decide cuts for school districts, what percentage this cuts will be. The budget calendar, just to run through it again. January, we'll have our athletic department presentation. I will meet with buildings and grounds, transportation, food service to begin to start to talk about their rollover budgets, what equipment we need to order, and start that process. January 29th is when the allocations will be given to all three of the buildings, as well as Christie and the athletic department. In February, assuming that the governor releases his proposal for state aid in February, we're unsure if he might not even release this year's proposal for state aid by February. So they may be to come out back to back. By March 1st is when our tax levy limit calculation is submitted. And that's one of the slides. So I'll talk about the tax cap at this time. March 12th is when the buildings, special ed and athletic budgets are due. And March 22nd is when petitions for our available Board of Ed slots for next year become available. April 1st, publication of the first legal budget hearing vote. April 14th, our board meeting is when we'll adopt our budget for 21-22. April 19th at 5 p.m. is when petitions are due to Kim Brown for anybody that was interested in running for the open board spots. April 26th is our property tax report card after the board approves it at that April board meeting. April 28th is when the budget has to be completed. And our Board of Education meeting on May 5th is when our budget hearing will be. Leading up to March 18th, when we will have our budget vote, hopefully in person. As Charlene's email said earlier today, for the capital project vote in February, as well as hopefully in May for the budget vote, we're hoping that the climate will be that we can have in-person voting by that time. Tax cap, always this time of year, is very preliminary. There's a lot of information that isn't available yet, but right now, the allowable tax growth factor, which is the quote unquote 2% that we always hear, is right now it's probably going to be capped out at about 1.56%. And which our tax cap preliminary is going to be about 5.44%, with additional $424,888 available. Being fiscally responsible, though, we do not anticipate going anywhere near that tax cap. And a good majority of the tax cap being high again 2 years in a row is because of the capital project timing. And after this capital project is hopefully approved and ready to go, we'll be on the 5-year schedule so that we don't have debt coming off the books without the state aid to replace it. A lot of unknowns for RJFA contract negotiations continue to go on, as well as a couple individual contracts. We still don't, as I mentioned earlier, we still don't know the 2020, 2021 aid reductions. What will that percentage be? Will it be 5? Will it be 10? Will it be 20%? Hopefully we find that out soon. And back from last year, we're still, last year for 2021, we are $1.97 million foundation aid underfunded. And probably for 21, 22, nobody's going to be surprised if it's not another foundation aid freeze. So we're probably going to be underfunded over $2 million. And as always, that March, when the budget is on time in March, or if it comes out in April, there is always 11th hour unfunded mandates that get thrown in there that people dig deep and find, and then we have to implement them in a week or two time frame. Health insurance, up to a 9% increase in health insurance premiums is what we're anticipating. About another month, hopefully we'll know what that, or a little bit over a month, probably right around February 1st, hopefully we'll know what the exact percentage is. Even though 9% seems like a very high percentage, early estimations were 12 to 14%, so 9% is actually looking reasonable in comparison. Teacher retire, the TRS, small increase, up to a half a percent. Employee retirement system, up to 1.6% increase. And both the TRS and the ERS are percentage of salaries for anybody in those retirement systems. So between the two of them, only about a $10,000 increase. Health insurance, I talked about the 9%, but we're looking at almost maybe up to a $200,000 increase in health insurance premiums. Workers' compensation, up to a 5% increase, but that's only a little bit of under $100,000 of a budget. So a 5% increase is only about $5K. Continue our 5-year bus replacement plan. 2 big buses, estimated to be around $274,000. 1 smaller bus, 1 34-passenger bus. We originally had 3 big buses in the replacement schedule for this year, but we currently have 2 backup big buses, and we now run 3 small buses, so we don't have a backup. So we made the change so that we have a spare in case one of those buses broke down. And the same about with the next one, wheelchair buses. We've only had 2 wheelchair buses in the past, but now we have 2 bus routes where the wheelchair buses are going in opposite routes. So we want to make sure we have a backup just in case one of those is to be broke down for any short period of time. In June, we had $1 million in the bus reserve, which is about $100,000 less than we had last year in June of 2019. Any questions? This is very preliminary. As we get into February, March, April, hopefully we'll have a better idea. And hopefully we at least have a definite idea for this current 2021 school year where we might stand.
Does anyone have any questions for Tim?
Tim,
It's
I had a
early.
question. Have you heard anything from the governor based on, back in the spring, he had laid out some like timetables that he thought he would have information. Has that come out?
Nope, like I think we're right around originally, we should have had two of those 3 deadlines by now, and as we talked about a couple months ago, we thought after the election, we might hear some rumblings or what might be coming out, but now it looks like until an actual stimulus plan comes out at the federal level, that we are not going to hear anything until that stimulus plan comes out. They're playing pass the buck back and forth pretty much. I think they have an idea of where
Okay,
they
thank you.
stand. I think Governor Cuomo has an idea, but I don't think he's going to play his cards until that package is decided. But yeah, they have not come close to meeting any of those deadlines.
Jen, I just wanted to share, this is Heather Bachman. I attended the 4-County General Membership Meeting on November 16th, and Sean Van Scoy, the superintendent at Gananda, had a really nice presentation on just what that 20% cut looks like in various districts. And I just wanted to call it out to anyone who's would be interested in listening to it. It's on the 4-County website, and Marla facilitated the meeting, and she did a great job posing reflective questions and kind of really getting folks thinking. And Sean's big thing was just, and Charlene has been saying this and Tim has been saying this, that, equal is not equitable. And he really, in terms of the 20% cut across the board, if that's what it is, I mean, that looks very different in different districts. And Sean did a great job kind of laying out not only what that looks like in various districts, but what that means to our region in general, and the impact that that would have and how far reaching that impact is. So not just to, us here at Red Jacket, but what that means as you start to peel the onion or the layers of the onion back. So I just wanted to call that out and say, if you're interested, it's worth, taking a peek at. He just did a great job. So I just wanted to share that.
And another thing Governor Cuomo has to weigh is if he were to cut the budgets by a certain amount, they would lose all their CARES Act funding for New York State. So they have to be careful with that as well, not making the cuts too large that they would lose a huge revenue source right now.
Thank you, Tim. Did anybody have anything else for Tim? No, and thank you, Heather, too, for that information. Okay, thanks, Tim. So we'll move on to the approval of the minutes from our November 10th meeting. Did anybody have any questions, comments, or notice any revisions that needed to be made? Is there a motion to accept?
Motion, Lisa.
Second, Heather Bachman.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. And now we're on to our personnel report, Appendix B. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the board accepts with regret the retirement of Sharon Kramer, bus driver, effective December 25th, 2020. Is there a motion?
Motion, Amanda.
Second, Lisa.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the board accepts with regret the retirement of Kathleen Haas, cleaner, effective December 31st, 2020.
Motion, Heather Bachman.
Amanda McNamara, second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the board accepts with regret the resignation of Gail Holmes Cleaner effective November 18th, 2020.
Motion, Amanda.
Second, Lisa.
Any questions? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the board accepts with regret the resignation of Terry Ann Payton, teacher, effective December 15th, 2020.
Motion, Heather Bachman.
Second, Amanda McNamara.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. The board hereby accepts the recommendation of the superintendent to approve the January 4th, 2021 agreement of contract of services with Kathleen Haas for administrative services for buildings and grounds.
Motion, Lisa.
Second, Scott.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. We do have an addendum that was sent to us today for the consensus agenda. Everyone saw that?
Mhm.
Okay. The board hereby accepts the recommendation of the superintendent to make appointments as per the consensus agenda.
Motion, Heather.
Second, Amanda.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Carried. And now we're on to Appendix C, which is our CSE and CPSE report, which was a pretty big one this month, Christy.
Yeah.
It was. Big.
36 meetings we did
Yeesh.
How many?
Wow.
36?
during quarantine.
It seemed like more.
Rest,
This seemed like more than 36.
No,
You managed to stay busy in quarantine. Did anybody have any questions for Christy on the report?
No.
Is there a motion to accept as presented?
I move these be accepted as presented. Lisa.
Second, Amanda.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. And now we're on to Appendix D, our superintendent's report.
Thank you. Thank you, Tim, for the presentation, and thank you, Christy, for all your hard work. My internet is a little bit unstable, so I apologize for that. But I did want to congratulate our retirees. Thank you to Kathy Haas for 32 years of outstanding service as head cleaner. And thank you to Sharon Kramer for her 15 years of safe and caring service as a school bus driver. Mrs. Kramer will be missed by her riders and our parents and all of us at Red Jacket. And I am pleased that Mrs. Haas is interested in remaining at Red Jacket in a part-time status. She does take really great pride in her the work that she does, and we certainly benefit from that. So I'm pleased that she's staying on at least in a part-time capacity. Also, I would like to thank Chris Gaweri for setting up the social emotional learning training for our bus drivers through the Wayne Finger Lakes BOCES staff developer, Erica Ebert. And also I wanted to update you on the lift project at Red Jacket. I'm pleased to announce that Rick Edmondson from Flash P and our wellness committee led by our teacher, Stacy Snesgo, has teamed up to offer the lift project to all of our staff. It's, as I shared with you before, the lift project is created by internationally recognized well-being expert and positive psychology guru. And the lessons will be offered through Zoom. They're short, they're research-based, they're easy to implement. And they are scheduled from 2:30 p.m. to 3:15 p.m. on Wednesdays, beginning January 13th through March 3rd, with the exception of February 17th. The Board of Education is welcome to participate in these in this professional development opportunity if you wish. Just let me know. Also, I shared with you the Board of Education development schedule for the 2021 school year. Please let me know if there's other areas of interest that you have. I'm not going to go through the list. You've seen it before, but if there's any changes or any thoughts on other areas of development that you wish to have, just let me know. We don't really have a lot of work sessions, so I do try to slip them in periodically into our regular meetings. So if there's anything in particular, just please go ahead and let me know. Also, I'd like to thank Amanda and Lori Ryan and all of our other staff members who helped with the Twin Cities Holiday Basket Program. It's a great program to assist our community, and I appreciate that. I shared with you the COVID cases update. However, that has changed since December 2nd. We are at a total of 8 cases so far at Red Jacket, 6 students and 2 staff members. And you know, the cases are increasing in our community, so I do expect some more cases to crop up, and we are surrounded by other school districts who have a lot more cases than we do. So I do expect to continually manage the situation with our school nurses, and I'd like to thank them because they're great. We have a great partnership, and the communication is wonderful between the 3 of us as far as being able to keep track and work with the Department of Health, who has been great to work with as well, and being able to share information with people as soon as we get it. It is kind of tricky because the cases, we don't find out about them until a couple of days later. Maybe the testing results we don't get them until a couple of days. So that can make it quite tricky, but they've been doing a great job managing it, and I appreciate all of their hard work. I shared with you that the CSEA, after the CSEA ratified the tentative agreement, we developed an MOA regarding the starting wages and when they start. So I'm, shared that with you and recommend that. That's in Appendix G. And that's all I have so far at this point. Are there any questions?
Is it true, Charlene, that none of the COVID cases have been traced to Red Jacket at all as the source? They're all still related to.
I can't.
Can't hear me?
I can. You kind of cut out. I can't say where the actual sources of really any of the cases have come from, to be honest. There is contact tracing, and they do share information as far as the contact tracing goes and the quarantining. But I can't say that there's been any determination that they started in our school per se. So I don't know. It's right now the Department of Health is saying there's community spread. So that means basically the sources are sort of unknown,
Right. Just noting that's a positive for us, right? Noting that.
It is a positive, yeah. I think we do have fewer cases right now and previously than school districts around us, and it is positive. I do think that we're doing a really good job managing it. Our teachers are excellent about cleaning in between class, and our principals are doing a good job with trying to support everyone. Our cleaners are working really hard. We have some aides that are helping out with cleaning, additional cleaning on Wednesdays, and whenever there's opportunity. So they're cleaning high touch surfaces throughout the building. And I am really proud of everyone. So thank you.
Charlene, I have a quick question about the LIFT project. Do you know if the format will be similar to what we experienced, where you watch the videos and then will Tracy or someone be facilitating the Zoom? Is that what the Zoom is for?
Yes, so Rick will be facilitating the Zoom, but
Oh,
we're on there. I
okay.
signed up as well.
Okay.
And yeah, so we'll be on there as well, but Rick is facilitating. It's the same format, yeah.
Okay, so I
So
just
there,
also,
so it's video based and there's
oh, okay.
and there's
I think-
reading to go along with the video, but it's pretty simple.
Mhm, okay. I just, if anyone has the slightest inkling of interest, I recommend it highly. I know Charlene has, but I experienced it through GV BOCES with folks out that way and with Rick. And it was really good, especially during the pandemic. I just felt like it was very relevant and helpful.
Mhm. Agreed. Yeah, I recommend it.
Any other questions for
Okay.
Charlene?
Thanks, Jen.
Okay. Thank you, Charlene. So we'll move
Thank
on
you.
to our financial report in Appendix E. Did anyone have anything on that? No? I'll accept on behalf of the board. And then in Appendix F, we had our treasurer's report. Does anyone have any questions on that? Checking all boxes, okay. Making sure I saw all of the heads. So I will accept that on behalf of the board as well. So we are on to Appendix G, the CSEA MOA. The board hereby accepts the recommendation of the superintendent to approve the attached memorandum of agreement with the Civil Service Employees Association, Inc. regarding starting wages. Is there a motion?
Motion, Lisa Lombardi.
Second, Heather.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. Okay. And then we're back to our old business, our policy number 3421. Charlene, do you want everyone to stay on for the policy, or do you want to let the administrators go? Wait a minute, you're muted. Did she hear me?
I don't
Sorry
know.
about that. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I can't understand her.
I was
Okay, I guess
trying to
it's
get
up to
my,
you guys, don't
I
you
shared.
I think she said they can leave.
What did you, Charlene, you froze up, and did you say they could go? Yeah, no?
Yeah, they can leave. I shared
Okay.
the policy with them already, so they have it through email.
Sounds
Okay.
like it.
All right. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you
Good
all.
seeing you guys. Stay healthy.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
holidays.
Yes.
Hi.
Okay. So we were sent the revisions on the policy. Did anybody have any questions on that?
Nope. I was thankful for the revisions. I think they were really insightful and helpful,
Yes.
and definitely from our last meeting, what I was hoping the attorneys would come back with, because things that I wasn't comfortable with. So I think they were great as I read through.
Yes, I agree with Lisa too. I did have a couple questions. I don't think these pages are numbered, but it's like probably 2/3 of the way through under Title IX and sex discrimination, the hearings and determination regarding responsibility. That first sentence, it says the district will designate an individual decision maker. Do we have to do that now, or is that done like on a case by case?
That would be done on a case-by-case
Okay.
basis, and we would work with our attorneys in a situation at this point anyways, so we would work with them on that. I don't know if that would necessarily be me or if it would be someone else within the district. Chris and Karen are the Title IX folks that would be designated. So they have to have a separate decision maker.
Okay. And then I had one other question right at the end. I think it's the last section, training. Is this training new, or is this something that we already, I mean, I know the policy itself is new, but is this something we're already doing, or do we have to seek new training for?
So we have to do annual training, and Chris and I were talking about this, and I'd like to thank Chris for helping me with this policy because it's kind of beastly. But the training has to happen annually, and we have had our attorney provide training in the past, but we have GCN training for Title IX and sex discrimination. But it's also supposed to be an interactive training. And so Chris and I talked about having the building principals actually walk all staff, their staff through the training using the GCN modules so that it can be more interactive. Chris had suggested some, that maybe we have some riveting opening day training on Title IX and
No, Chris did not.
She was joking, of course.
Thank you.
And a little so that it can be a little more interactive.
Did anyone have anything else? Okay. So are we ready to adopt this one?
I think so.
Okay, Kim, you didn't send me my little cheat sheet. So I'm just gonna ask, is there a motion to approve?
Motion, Lisa.
Policy number 3421. Is there a second?
Second, Heather.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Kim's little cheat sheet reads much nicer than that, but
It's okay. It's effective what you did.
I'll have to keep one now in my binder forever and always. Okay, so I'd like to request a motion to move into executive session to discuss a personnel matter.
Motion. Lisa.
Second, Heather.
All in favor?
I did,
Aye.
sorry.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. All right. Thank you, Mark, Jeff,
Sorry
Christy,
for the interruption.
Kim. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.